sometimes at elections when people doesn't have the right time to go to the voting stations. There were some polling stations that opened before the elected time. We saw a right voting ambience, people eager to vote, discipline when voting. All the marketing that we provided at the so people know how to vote, all the electoral authority explaining and teaching people how to vote. And this feeling was appreciated in every sense. Once the polling stations were closed, the voting count began. This is a public event in front of everybody present at the voting stations. And all people was able to see this process. It was broadcast on television, which was in compliance with what is established at the Constitution. As we've been in compliance with the law, this is one Transparency Act. After that, the National Electoral Council and all the authorities, all the system, we began working and counting the votes and validating the votes. Each and every vote from the 470 nominees for the National Assembly, and those who get more than 50%. The preliminary results have been given once we provide the processed information. We wanted to thank the people for going to the voting stations, all the authorities for their discipline, their transparency, and compliance with the electoral law. It has been a successful day. We wanted to thank once again to all people involved in this process, and especially the people. We are joined here for several journalists from you already explained that right now, throughout the night, the voting code and the validation process is going through. Can you explain how this process is, how the validation process is? When do you consider it can be known first preliminary report about the results? I think it is important to clarify this. We were discussing about the voting, the counting of the vote. Then we count every vote with all the logistic and the transportation. All this information is sent to the municipal electoral council. There they began revising the votes, all the information. And then after this, they began to set all the results in the information system. In each municipal and each province, they have the responsibility, along with the territories, to revise all this information and to also validate the results from each and every candidate that will become a deputy from the National Assembly. And this process is scheduled throughout the municipalities and provinces. We have an IT system that supports this process with all the requirements. We are forecasting that throughout the night and after midnight, this process is going to run. It doesn't mean that some provinces will finish the counting of the vote ahead of time, but as soon as we have this information, we will inform the people. It could be this night, it could be in the tomorrow morning. As soon as we have the information, we will let you know. This is a preliminary information. We're validating the information and revising it. And you also know that tonight we will receive the list of the names, because each person will have been able to vote throughout the country as soon as they fulfill the requirements to do this activity. Later on, this list will be given to the local registry that keeps record of every people who vote in the country. In this electoral registry, gather all this information, and along with the Electoral Council, they began process. And they began checking this information, which is that a person who voted on another place that is not their place of they usually live, then they locate this person. Especially because they wanted to disregard any double voting. And taking into consideration this, we will give the official results as soon as the validating is finished by the Electoral Council. Any other questions? This time we concluded this
We're watching live an updated report on Cuba's parliamentary elections. Alina Balseiro, president of the National Electoral Council, explained the reasons why the voting day was extended for an hour, and it was due to several calls in different regions asking for more time to be able to go to the polls and vote. The official thanked the Cuban people for its discipline during the voting day. The official also added that every province and sector has the responsibility to validate the preliminary results will be made known after this process concludes. Stay tuned with teleSUR English for updates in upcoming news briefs.